Welcome to this session. If you're watching, I'm just going to share this live stream into the Webinars for GPs group. And this is a take two. It's one of the things about learning is not being afraid to make mistakes. So this is a really good demonstration of mindset with learning, amongst other things. So, okay, so we are live on Facebook. Welcome, colleagues, to this first teaching session of the Learning Mini-masterclass series. I did a short welcome message yesterday, and we over today and 4 more sessions after today, we're going to look at 10 tips to learning efficiently, the science of learning and how to do it efficiently. So I'm going to share my screen and play a video clip from a masterclass I taught last year, and let's see if the tech gremlins have been sorted out. I'm just going to cover what we're going to. Okay, good. And here. Okay, so the science of learning and how to make things stick. Let's see if we can go there. So you should be seeing a nice full screen. The science of learning and how to make things stick efficiently. Session 1, take 2. Okay, so today this is a list of all 10 sessions, and today we're going to look at pseudo work versus real work and overcoming procrastination. Okay. So firstly, pseudo work versus real work or deep work. So Cal Newport is a professor in computer science in the USA. He's written several books, How to be a Grade A Student, and Deep Work is his most recent one. So he interviewed students, high-level students who had really good grades and didn't make their studies a real grind. They knew how to study and have time off. So he's a professor at Georgetown University. Now these students could differentiate pseudo work from deep work or real work, the ability to focus deeply in intense bursts. And this is the ability, Cal Newport calls this the superpower for the 21st century, the ability to do real work and rather than pseudo work. So there's an equation that he developed: work accomplished equals time spent studying times intensity. So purely time spent studying is not correct, because it depends what your intensity of focus is. So if you're not very focused and you're having lots of distractions, then it's going to take you a lot longer to get through the same, achieve the same level of work in terms of learning. I hope that makes sense. So for example, if you're trying to study in a cafe or where there's a lot of noise and distraction going on, you're going to probably be less focused than if you're studying quietly away from everybody else on your own. Okay, so to do deep work, you got to look at when, where, and how long. So when is best for doing deep work? Early in the day, between waking and lunchtime, partly because you're more in control at that time of the day, and also you're less likely to be knocked off your schedule. So where is best to do deep work, real work for learning? On your own rather than in a group generally. And how long is best to do real work, deep work? 1 hour maximum. You need to be on, studying, focused, and then off and doing something else. So you want to see if you can remember this equation as we go through. So work accomplished equals time spent times intensity of focus. Okay. So the second key to effective learning: overcome procrastination. So this is one of the #1 worst habits that we have as people, according to author Barbara Newport. so we're never going to get rid of the urge to procrastinate. We can learn strategies to deal with the urge so that we don't fall into that trap. We need to recognize when the urge to procrastinate rises and then accept the urge, try and diffuse from the thoughts that are derailing us, expand our consciousness to allow those emotions to be present, and then act in accordance with our deepest values. So a tip for overcoming procrastination, when they've studied people's brains in fMRI machines and get them to think about procrastination, the pain areas start to light up. When they say, if you take somebody who hates maths, and you're going to ask them, you're going to tell them whilst they're in the fMRI machine that you're going to subject them to some maths tests, some mental maths, and this is somebody that has freely admitted when you've interviewed them that they don't like maths. So while they're waiting to do the maths and they're thinking about it, their pain centres all light up. Once they start doing the maths, sums and quizzes in their mind on the fMRI machine, the pain centres settle down, the pain goes away. So it's the anticipation that is painful. So we need to get really good at seeing and feeling that pain about what we're about to do, which tends to cause us to put off doing it. We need to be aware of that feeling, that uncomfortable feeling, and then diffuse and expand our sense, our awareness and our consciousness to allow that feeling to be present and look at it and observe it, and then simply start. So Tal Ben Shahar has called this a 5-minute slip road. So that 5 minutes when you're about to get onto a main road, you're going along a slip road, before you get on the main road, that period of time before you get into the deep work. And once you start, it might be awkward getting on the motorway, but once you're on the motorway, you're on and it's fine. Once you start doing the work or the act of learning, then you're fine and off you go. So there's another trick that your mind can play on you when you're about to start some serious piece of work or learning. You'll get thoughts like, oh, it'll only take a minute. It'll only take a minute to go and do that little job, to send that email, to make that cup of tea, to call somebody. It'll only take a minute. That's your mind trying to take you away from actually doing this because you're getting out of your comfort zone when you're starting to learn something new. So don't get fooled by that little thought in your head, that little voice saying it'll only take a minute. The other way to help with overcome procrastination is to reward yourself for work that you've done. So do the work, then have the reward. Don't do the reward first. Do the most challenging learning activity first, and then go and do whatever. Go on Facebook, go online, do whatever. So another tip, the number one cause of procrastination is fatigue. So the next main cause of procrastination is hunger. So either fatigue or hunger or both will deplete your willpower, and so the solution is get rest, get a good night's sleep, eat good food, so not fast-acting carbs. That creates behaviour that looks a lot like symptoms of attention deficit disorder. And remember that there's a motivation equation. So expectancy times value divided by impulsivity times delay. So it's really important that you expect to do something with high value. So that expectancy and value. So in your mind, be clear that you're going to expect to do something of really high value. And if you're having challenges, sort of getting going with the learning and doing the activity, remember why you're wanting to do the learning. So if you're doing CPD, why do you want to do the CPD? So a deep why, and getting clear on your why and clear on how you're doing the learning activity will benefit your life and career. So get clear on the why. Have the confidence to see that if you do the work, you'll see the benefits. So have a, take a step back and think, okay, I'm doing my CPD regularly. That's going to benefit me in my work, and it's going to help the patient. So that's a really good motivator. Okay. The denominator, the impulsivity and the delay. So with impulsivity, you need to ensure that impulsivity is low by turning off distractions, turning off notifications from social media on your mobile device or on your computer. Get rid of other distractions and get focused. The other denominator, the D, delay, you want to set up daily goals. Try and do your learning regularly rather than having huge gaps between doing it. Okay, and another tip, if you ritualize or systematize your proper learning, then you won't need to deal with willpower or procrastination. If it's booked in your diary, then you've got an appointment with yourself to do that learning, then you get on and do it. So like with the webinars for GPs, it's 1 hour each evening during the week. If that's ring-fenced in your diary, it doesn't become a big deal because it's something that you always do. Okay, so overcoming procrastination, the best way to get something done is just to get going, just to make a start. And we've looked at some tips for how you can do that. Okay, so I hope you found that little snippet helpful. 2 of the top tips for learning efficiently and effectively. Are you okay, so I'm hoping you're hearing me. So 2 top tips there from the list of 10 that we're going to cover over a series of 5 mini masterclass sessions in this series. Real work versus pseudo work. How focused are you when you are doing your learning? One brilliant way to do a tip to get focused, obviously turning off distractions, but you can do a little breathing exercise at the very beginning, even just 90 seconds or 2 minutes, slowly in, slowly out. Some people talk about box breathing as an easy way to remember it. So breathing in for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 4 seconds, and then breathe in again. So you're breathing in, holding, breathing out, holding. If you did that 4 seconds each time, you did that for 2 minutes, very fast way to get your focus. So there's a little extra tip in terms of getting more out of any learning session. I hope you have a great day and you've got something out of this. Leave a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you with less tech gremlin challenges tomorrow. Bye for now.